Welcome to today's class. In our previous video, we looked at how to install, update all packages, as well as we looked at how to seek help. In today's video, we are going to look at importing and exporting data. And our first topic is to look at importing data. And importing data, we have multiple data files that we can use in R. We have Excel. You can import a CSV file. We can import .rdt files, that is R files. We have SAS, SPSS, Stata. You can also import videos, audio, a TXT file. We can also link our R with databases. These are databases that are created either in Oracle, MySQL, and other database softwares. To start us off, we are going to look at our first subtopic under importing data. So we are going to do both importing and exporting data. Under importing data, we're going to look at how to import a CSV file. And CSV files are comma-separated value files. So we are going to start with importing a CSV file. As a tradition, you need to set your working directory. If you're using a different, if your file is in different folder. So to set your working directory, use the function set wd, then brackets, opening and closing brackets, speech marks. Then you go to your location of your file. That means if your file is in a different folder. For my case, it is in the same folder. So you'll come here, right click. You right click, it will bring for you. Then you copy the path. Right click, edit, you copy the path. Highlight, copy. Then you go and paste this path to your R. Paste it here. So we've set our working directory. And you execute, and you can see there's an error because the backslash, it doesn't recognize the backslash, as I had mentioned earlier. So you need to put it to have double backslash. So that's the error that you get if you don't use the correct slash. So double, where there's a backslash, you ensure that there are double backslashes. You highlight, execute, and it is now ready to use. The next thing that I like to use is the directory, looking at the files that are inside my folder so that I don't go back to the folder, but I can copy from my console window. Then I run, and I have all these files. How do you import an Excel file? So let me just separate so that it's very clear how to import. So this is importation of a CSV file. We use the function read CSV. But we want to create an object. We want to create an object on our environment window. As you can see, our environment window has nothing. We want to create a CSV object. So here we say CSV data. We want to create an object. Remember, during introduction, I told you how to create an object. You use less than minus sign. Then, which object we want to read a CSV file. So you can read underscore CSV or read.csv. So the first is the object that we are creating. The second is the function that we are using to read that particular file, and the file that we are reading is the CSV here. Sorry about that. This CSV. So this CSV is what we want to read. You copy it, you come, opening and closing, speech marks, then you say data 3 CSV, or it can be exported data 1 CSV. Let's use this one, but anyway, this is still the same. So you highlight and you run. You give it time because it's a big file, and you see in our environment window, we have our first object. Or you can say, come here and say now, you select, you come here and execute this syntax to see the file, and you come here and select our exported data. Exported data. You can come there, you execute, and you'll have this one. It will overwrite the existing one, and you have your data has been uploaded. So this is our data that has been uploaded. So you would read CSV. You can also use read underscore CSV. Is it there? No, it's .csv. For our case, it is .csv. So we have .csv there. The next, now that you know how to read a CSV file, we want to look at how to export a data frame that has been created on a CSV, on RStudio. How do you export it? How do you export it? A data that has been created on RStudio. So here is exporting to a CSV file. To export to a CSV file, you also use the function write CSV. Remember, before you perform any importation, you need to load these libraries that we use. So we have, first of all, if you haven't installed these packages for reading, if you haven't installed the packages for reading, you need to install those packages. So that's, you install first. I had already installed, and that's why it's giving me this pop-up. So for your case, it will install directly. So for me, I'll click no, but you need to load it. You load the packages that you're using, read. You want to read even an Excel. So when you'll be reading an Excel, you use those packages. So when you are reading and writing, for read CSV, it's already pre-loaded, so that's, you don't need to load it afresh. But when you're exporting now, when you're exporting, you use the function write. How to export? Exporting data, R data to a CSV. So here we use function write. What are we writing? .csv. Then we give the name of our file. First of all, you get the data that you are exporting. The data that we are exporting is CSV data, comma, the name of the file. The name of the file. And this, we will call it output 1.csv. My output 1.csv. You highlight it, you execute. It's a big file, so you'll give it time for it to export. Once it has exported, you see now the warning is no longer there. You go to your folder and you do the latest export. The latest export that has been done 1107 is my output. When you open it, you'll see that it has 19 variables. It has 19 variables. So this one has 20. It has 19 variables. But now the first row, it has created another column, a sequential column. When you don't want this column to appear in your data set, when you don't want this column to appear in your data set, you don't want that column to appear in your data set. Let me close all this. to appear in your data set, you go back and instruct. And now, so this one will create additional column. In your data set, in your final data set, which is wrong. It's not supposed to be there. But now the second instruction, we will tell R that the row name should be off. There should be no additional column. So we say row name, row.names equals to false. Row.names equals to false. So when you execute this, when you execute that, you'll see we will not have an extra column. We will not have an extra column. You come here, say data. This is our output at 11:09 right now. When you open it, now we have only 19 variables, which is the same as what we have in our data frame. And here it starts with years, unlike the previous one that had introduced another column here. So when you see you have 19 variables, then the number of cases that are there, they are 336,777, the same as the variables that are in our the observations that are there. So for Excel, it will count even the column name, but for R, it exclude the column names. And that's why you are having 336,776 observations. So that's how you import and export data in a CSV. Now, let's look at how to, our 2C, topic 2C under importing and exporting will be how to import data from an Excel file. So you have your Excel file and you want to import it into R. How do you do that? You have your data, you want to import it into R. First of all, is to install the relevant packages, and our relevant package is read Excel. You want to read Excel, so that is our package that you're going to use. We install it. For me, I'd already installed it, so it's asking me if I want to updating loaded package. But for your case, you'll not have this warning sign. It will install. So I don't want to update. Then, once you've installed, you need to load it. You use the function library. Then library of read Excel. So you execute it, you highlight, then you execute. Then the next thing that you need to do now is to get your data. So for example, we want to call it Excel data. And you see in our environment window, there is no Excel data. Excel data, we want to create an object called Excel data. And we use less than minus sign. And here we are telling read underscore Excel. Read underscore Excel. Then the name of the Excel file that you want to load. So I'll come here and run dir. I'll come here and run script 52, which is for dir. When I execute it, it will give me the list of Excel dataset that are there. Then I just come here and copy this one here, this Excel file, Once I've copied the Excel file, I run and I give it time because it's a big file. So this is Excel output 1.xls. Give it time to load. Still it is loading. Once it has finished loading, you'll see an object has been created. And this object is called Excel data, the same as the object that I created here. So you have your object Excel data, you have your object CSV data. So CSV will be data frame. The Excel one will be the table underscore data frame. This one is a data frame, data.frame, and this one is table underscore data frame. But they are just the same things. So now, C is how do you get the list of available worksheets? So if you want to see the list of available worksheets, you use the function get sheet names, then you run, it will give you the list of the available worksheet. For example, if you want to import from a different sheet, let's come here and look at one of our Excel file, export data 2. So when you open export data 2, you'll see that it has 2 sheets. There is exported data, and then there is the original. So I can rename it, or I can just use the name the way it is. We have original without an I. And we don't want to import from the first sheet, exported data sheet, but we want to import from original sheet. How do you do it to import from a separate sheet? So here, let's look at D, import data from a specific sheet. If you don't specify the sheet, R will automatically import from the first sheet. But here is a scenario whereby we want to import from a separate sheet. So here, one, you need to ask R the sheets that are available in that particular. If you don't know the sheets that are available in that particular Excel file, and you use the function get sheets. Sorry, it is get sheet names. If you want to know the sheets that are available there, you use the function get sheet names. And before you do that, you must install some packages. And these packages are, if you haven't installed them, tidyverse, because it comes with those functions. You also have another package called dplyr. So I had already installed them, but if you haven't installed those packages, you need to install them so that you are able to use GetSheet. Then also we have another library that I want to load, ggplot. So these are the most relevant libraries that we'll be using most of the time. So you can do them up front when you are loading loading all your libraries when you start or you can do it before. So here we want to get sheet.